All right, so as you can see, we are outside this week because, why not? With a weather like this, not cold, not raining, well, maybe perhaps a tad bit cold because I'm wearing a hoodie after all, but I mean, as compared to some of the other days, this is actually not bad. So, as promised, this week we are talking about this topic that I actually was going to record last week or bring to you last week until I saw that stuff on social media and I had to do a video on that. So I hope you're ready to have this conversation and, you know, kind of step into this with me at least and hear what I have to say because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. This has been in the queue for a while, but here we are finally. So let's talk about it. Now, there's a clip that I want to show us today, but before I get there, I first want to kick things off by kind of talking about my list of preferences that I look for in a potential significant other and hopefully spouse. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Some of you might be thinking to yourself, you have a list? Really? You're going to talk to us about your list? Well, if we're all honest with each other and ourselves, we all have lists, stuff that we prefer, going from they have to be a Christian to some of the more physical attributes, over 6 feet, they have to be rich, whatever it might be, whether it's um, more shallow, if you really want to be honest with yourself, or more deep. And hey, your list is your list, and what you're willing to compromise on, that's up to you. But all of us have a list of stuff that we prefer or we want in a potential spouse. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. You just got to find somebody that kind of matches that. And one of the reasons that I've been single for as long as I have been is I really ultimately have not found somebody that's kind of checked all of those boxes. Now, some of you hearing that are probably like, that's probably because your list is too extensive and you're not really willing to compromise. And some of you, after hearing what I will list, you're probably also going to agree with that. However, I will say that it is important to have standards, to have stuff that you're looking for in a potential spouse, because this is critical. Too many people, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, hop into relationships without really fully doing due diligence and understanding what you're looking for in a potential spouse so that you build a proper foundation. And so many people will hop into a relationship and get married without really establishing any sort of standard, any sort of metric. And then because you didn't really take time to do the homework and search for that really good potential spouse that you can build a life with, you end up hopping out when things get tough because you weren't really on the same page to begin with. And so say what you will, but just know that this is what I kind of look for in a potential spouse, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, with that said, I just want to go right off the top. I am looking for somebody that is a Christian, that not just calls themselves a Christian, but actually lives it out. And more importantly, somebody that believes or observes or is at least open to the idea of observing the festivals that's laid out in Leviticus 23, which I kind of covered that with my sister in an interview. I'll link that video up in the corner if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. That way you can kind of get an idea. But Leviticus chapter 23, all the feasts and the holy days that God had laid out and given to his people. A lot of people will think that that is more Jewish holidays, but God gave it to his people. And so if we call ourselves Christians, we are God's people, then we should observe these. It's not specifically set aside just for Jews. So I will just say that. But I'm looking for somebody that is at least open to the idea of observing that. I really don't want somebody that has a whole bunch of tattoos and piercings. I'm not really a fan of that. I don't really want somebody that's got any sort of baggage, been divorced, has any kids, things like that. I just really don't. I'm not really interested in that. And also somebody that, now this might seem kind of shallow, but I just kind of prefer somebody that's just a bit shorter than me, to be quite honest, because I would kind of prefer um, my potential spouse to, wear heels if she wants to. And I don't know, it's just the whole kind of being taller thing. It's that if I find the right person and she ends up being a tad bit taller, I mean, I can probably, compromise on that. But, if we're talking like, because I'm like 5'6", 5'7", and if we're talking about, somebody being like over 6 feet, I'm sorry, I'm just not really a fan of having to like look up at my spouse. It's it's just a whole thing. I mean, like I said, say what you will, but that's just part of, my preferences and what I'm looking for. And that's kind of more or less what's covering it. I kind of prefer, like, I don't know, uh, white, Asian, maybe Australian, that kind, um, that's kind of who I'm looking for, kind of what I'm really attracted to, per se. So just just putting that out there. So why do I go through all that? Why do I list what I'm looking for in a potential spouse? Because with all of that being said, um, it's kind of hard to find somebody that just, well, right off the top, that observes or is at least open to the idea of observing the festivals. Oh, one other thing, and I would prefer somebody that is not older than me. I prefer somebody that's at least, I wouldn't really say like a whole heck of a lot younger, but I'm 36, so I would prefer maybe somebody that's 30, maybe 27, somewhere around there, because one of my goals is I would like to have a lot of kids. I mean, remember the series I just got finished doing not too long ago? And if I have somebody that's either my age or older, we're not really in that window of being able to have many kids. So I want somebody that's kind of, looking for somebody that's kind of just a bit younger. So, like I said, like 27, 26, 27, somewhere around there. So 30, but younger than me. So again, like I said, going back to that, it's hard to find somebody that's willing to observe, these festivals, because a lot of churches don't observe this. And then you go into somebody that's not been married before, that's, not divorced or doesn't have kids. It's just, it gets tougher and tougher. Somebody that doesn't have tattoos or piercings. Again, the pool gets smaller and smaller. And that's why here I am, still single. Now, like I said, some of you guys might be thinking to yourself, you're that's just a really big list of stuff that, you got to be able to compromise on. Because trust me, I've heard that before. I've heard it before. You got to compromise. That's such a big list. It's almost unattainable. You're going to be single forever. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I truly believe that, you know, our paths will cross, but who knows? Now, I'm not much of a party person. I'm not much of a night owl. I'm more of a morning person. So, another aspect is, I don't really kind of go out at night. At night, I'm more where a lot of people might come alive at night and either go to the clubs or go line dancing and things like that. I, however, kind of more recluse at night. So that's just something I have to, I guess, kind of work on because a lot of people, they work and they're kind of wanting to socialize at night. So I'd probably have to plug myself into some of those night scenes, even though that's not really my idea or, preference. I could probably also go to some coffee shops and some bookstores, just some places that, I can meet others, the gym in the morning, but have yet to really find somebody. I've seen people that I've, you know, been interested in and wanted to talk to and kind of find out about them. But it's tough when you're at the gym because you just don't know who's in a relationship with who. You could see somebody and they might not have a ring on their finger, so they might not be married, but they might be a girlfriend to somebody else that's actually in the gym. And you just don't really want to kind of step on anybody's toes and make people mad. I mean, that's the place you're kind of there to work out, at least for me. So I kind of don't really approach people at the gym. It's just I just don't know who's with who. It's tough. So I'm on all these dating apps and yet to meet people. I mean, I have yet to really find somebody that we really kind of click and connect with. Part of the reason I went to Hawaii, beyond the fact that I have never been there before, was I was hoping to meet people, but a lot of the people there were already in relationships. They were either elderly couples or young couples, but they were couples. So it really makes it tough. And not to mention, I'm already kind of awkward talking to somebody that I like and am interested in to find the words to say and really what to say. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, if your top criteria is being a Christian, then why don't you try to meet people at church? Great question. And the simple answer is it kind of goes back to the holy days in Leviticus 23. It's like there's not really a lot of churches that observe that and believe that. So to be honest, I don't really go to church because a lot of these churches, at least in the area that I'm at, they don't believe in this stuff. So it makes it tough. I mean, there is some churches that believe in the Sabbath, which I believe in the Sabbath, but they don't they teach a lot of the wrong doctrines and whatnot. And I've gone to these churches in the past and it just it doesn't work. Like I said, I want to find somebody that's kind of on that same foundation if I'm trying to build a life together with this person. And some people might say, well, just go out and date. Just, date people, whether the stuff kind of checks off on your list or not. But again, for me, I want to date with intention. I don't just want to date just for the sake of dating, just to get experience. I want to be able to date somebody that I see myself actually marrying and as a potential spouse. So if I don't see them as a potential spouse, I don't really want to hop into something or um, give ideas that I'd be interested in dating them if they don't believe in the stuff that I'm looking for. It's just you may or may not agree with that, but again, that's just where I'm coming from. Now, why do I tell you all of this? Well, in part, perhaps maybe you might know somebody that actually checks all that stuff off. So, I mean, if you want to share this video with them and see if they perhaps are interested, I would greatly appreciate that. But just to know that it's okay to have a list of preferences, especially when you're talking about a potential spouse. It's okay. And the more specific that you can be, the better off you are, because it sets your relationship, if you do find and meet somebody, it sets your relationship up for success. Now, I do want to show you a clip, and this is Matthew Hussey. I included a clip of his before in the misconceptions of dating, or I'll link that video up in the corner in case you haven't seen that. But this one, he's talking more about the guys that don't really approach women, the small percentage of guys that approach every woman that they are attracted to, the small percentage of guys that will never approach a woman, and then the majority of guys that will only approach if it's the right opportunity. And he kind of breaks down the different situations in which a guy will not approach a woman. And I land in that category of what he's talking about. So I wanted to play for you this clip. He does use a couple of choice cuss words, so I'm going to apologize for that ahead of time. But the overall message of what he's saying, it really resonated with me, and I wanted to show this to you to kind of help explain this a little bit more and really drive this point home. So Matthew Hussey, take it away.
So even though us guys might grow up with the idea that we're supposed to do something, and if we don't get taught by our parents that, we get taught by movies at the very least, we grow up to think we should be doing something, and that makes most of us feel inadequate because most of us have never been taught how to do anything. So now what happens is we walk through life seeing women that we're attracted to and not being able to do anything. That's a guy's life. Some guys approach everybody. Some. But what do you think that is as a percentage, really? What do you think? If this is all guys, this many are running up to every woman they like. In fact, this many are running up to every woman. This many are running up to every woman they like. And the rest of us, this many, will never approach a woman. And the rest of us, we wait for the right moment. And we're not very good at judging when is the right moment. We also don't know what to do when we've decided it's the right moment. Which is why you guys constantly experience guys coming up to you and doing creepy shit. So we then ask, okay, with this group of men, should women start being more proactive in order to get them to do something? How many of you have ever been guilty of this in some form or another? You said, if a guy hasn't got the balls to come and approach me, that's not the sort of guy I want anyway. How many of us said a version of that? You're crazy. And I'll tell you why. I'm just going to give it to you straight. If us guys approached every woman we were attracted to, we wouldn't have jobs. It's all we would be doing. So the idea that if a guy doesn't come up to me, I'm just not interested in him is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Guys, out of 30 women that they might be attracted to, maybe we'll approach one. Maybe we'll approach one. Maybe we'll find the right moment with one of them. And here's what I mean by the right moment. A moment which he feels is easy enough to do something. Every other moment, the moment it presents too many hurdles, he doesn't do it. You're with a big group of friends, not going to do it. You're in a rush and you have that look on your face like, I'm just getting my coffee and I got to get to work because I'm in a meeting and I got this stuff and I got this stuff and I got to go and I got to go. Text, text, text. Oh my God, so many things. Yeah, I'm coming, Jake, I'm coming. He ain't coming up to you then. She looks busy, she'll fucking kill me. You're standing with that friend of yours. Oh, he's my gay guy friend. He's so lovely. I always hang out with him. We always go out. Never get approached by guys. Wonder why. He's not coming up to you while you're standing there with your gay friend because all he thinks is this is your boyfriend. This is someone that you're dating right now. He sees you walking along the street in the daytime. Most guys won't approach you then. You know why? Because they're worried that they'll look creepy if they do. Really would love to talk to her. Maybe I'll look creepy if I try. Don't want to do anything. But women, what they often do is they say, oh no, but that's not true. Guys do come up to me like that. Yeah, 1%. 1% of men. And it's always the loudest guy in the room. It's the loudest guy in the room or the loudest guy on the street. And of course that guy is the one you always meet. Of course it is. I always meet players. Of course, they're the ones who approach you. Players are the ones that are good at that. They're the ones that do approach you. So if you're hanging back and waiting for guys to do it, of course you only meet players. Of course you only meet the loudest guy in the room. Of course you only meet that cocky guy who doesn't actually give you anything more. Of course. Because 10 minutes later he's doing it with the next person. And tomorrow night he's doing it with the next person. Not true in all cases, but certainly in many. With these guys, they're trying to find the right moment. So, my friends, it's not about you making the move per se. It's about you giving him a license to make the move. Because if you're the 1 in 30 that makes it easy, you're the one he's coming up to. You're the one he's going to try with. Don't be easy, but in the first 5 seconds, be easy.
Now, like I said, I really resonate with that clip because that's me. The percentage of guys that won't really approach somebody unless it's the right moment, looking for the right moment, I fall into that percentage. I'm one of them. And I wonder how many guys watching are also in that percentage bracket that's looking for a potential spouse. If you fall into that bracket, or if you're more of the bracket of I'll approach and talk to anybody, or the ones that will never approach, where do you fall? And for the women watching, I wonder, kind of the same thing when he posed the question in that clip about how many of you have ever said something along the lines of, if a guy will not approach me or does not have the balls to approach me, then I don't want to be in a relationship with him, then that guy's not for me. And I wonder how many of you guys have said something along the same lines. And after seeing that clip, if your outlook or perspective changed at all. Because, to be honest, like the examples he gave there, if a woman that I am attracted to, or I see potential with, or that I would like to approach and kind of talk to, if she's in a group, I'm not going to approach her. Like I said before, at the gym, it makes it tough because I don't know who's with who. A hurdle. So I won't really approach anybody at the gym. It's tough. And then if a woman is talking to her gay guy friend, I won't know that he's her gay guy friend. I will assume that he's her boyfriend. So I'm not going to approach. There's got to be an obvious hint, an obvious cue that I can pick up or understand that you're interested, that you want me to make a move. Because I personally am clueless when it comes to women dropping hints. Clueless. Like my brother, he's more instinctual and he can pick that up a lot more. I'll be out somewhere, like hanging out with him, and we'll go to like out to lunch somewhere, and the waitress will, be talking, and she'll be dropping hints apparently at me, and I'm clueless. And then she walks away, and my brother's like, she was dropping hints. She was actually like saying some stuff to you, like she actually likes you. What? I didn't get that vibe. I didn't see that. I didn't recognize that. I am clueless. But along those same lines, like I mentioned, when I went to Hawaii, I went for really two reasons. One, because I've never been, but also because I was hoping to meet somebody that I would be interested in talking to. And what I found was a lot of couples, older couples and younger couples. And my my sister and my brother, they're telling me, go to the beach. Go to the beach. A lot of people are at the beach. Hang out at the beach. So I went, but it's tough again because if I see somebody that I'm attracted to, that I'm interested in, that I'd like to talk to and find out more about them, I'm already nervous if it's somebody that I'm interested in. And then you pair that with somebody that's in a bathing suit at the beach, that's even worse. I'm already nervous talking to them if they have their full clothes on, and then you combine that with them being at the beach and being in their bathing suit. No, 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 no. I don't want to look creepy. I don't want to stumble over my words. There's so much to it. There's so much to it. It works a whole lot better if, say, somebody knows somebody and they can kind of play matchmaker. That maybe comes in easier. That's part of the reason why I guess I put this video together. The whole goal is, perhaps some of you watching know somebody. And if not, just to at least see if you resonate with me and where I'm at. If this speaks to you at all, if this resonates with you, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. And if it doesn't, or perhaps maybe you've overcome this and you figured out a way how to just push past this awkwardness and all of that stuff, also comment below. Let me know your thoughts. But I wanted to bring this to you just to kind of let you know that this is kind of where I land. And I wanted to see who else kind of falls into the same percentage, the same bracket. So I thank you guys so much for watching. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And you guys stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys next week.